Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog about my trip in 2023 going back with my dad to Suriname, the country I was born. Mr. Toad is relentless and every morning I have to shake my shoes to make sure that he's not in there when I step into my boots. I religiously drink my morning tea, the special brew that my uncle made, without having the calabash or the pan ever touch any other surface than the special ring that was created for that specific purpose. And it really grew on me. I think it's quite delicious. My mornings would not be complete without the amazing herbal and medicinal baths that I get to take. Actually, this is also what I use a calabash for. This used to be the only utensil way before plastics and metals and stuff. I think it's quite special and it's made my experience all the more authentic. After the harvest, peeling and washing of the cassava, now comes time to actually continue to process it to the finest form of flour and then bake the breads. For this, we'll need firewood, lots and lots of firewood. Jeanette wouldn't be Jeanette if she didn't wake up at 7 a.m. and chopped this entire pile of wood. Again, this woman. My dad and I leave to visit my uncle's plot as we promised that morning. This is the entrance to his plot. I found another gorgeous flower. This is the only water point to the plot, so that's where he needs to collect water, do dishes, etc. And then he shows us a particular crop that he is harvesting. The entrance can be quite tricky, and the little tree trunk you see there, it made him actually fall off his scooter the other day. I'm glad he's okay. One of the crops that he plants and harvests is peanuts or groundnuts. I get to pose for the crème de la crème, the avocado plantation. There are about 9 to 12 trees at the moment. And I spot the chicken coop. Maybe I should say rooster coop, because there are really a lot of roosters in here. I hope he will change that soon. Back at the house, Jeanette has worked tirelessly to continue to process the cassava pulp into a powder. After another round of the cassava powder going through the machine to become an even finer powder, the last step is manually sifting the cassava. Of course, I get to try my hand at it. And boy, this is one of those things that you just underestimate. You can look at it and go like, how hard could it be? But it is a very heavy sieve. You have to try and get everything inside. You're bent over. It's warm. Once again, I was struggling.
Ik heb het idee dat ik alles erbuiten zeef. Maar ze heeft ook een ronde, dat lijkt me veel logischer.
Ja. Je hebt me nog een klein kom.
This is what the final setup looked like. The cassava flour in the tops with an additional sieve, a place for her to place the baked breads, a whole pile of chopped firewood, and then the actual steel plate on which she will bake the breads over firewood. She will end up baking 40 breads, 40, all through the day, hardly stopping, continuously baking, with her bare hands, pouring the flour on this steel plate that is directly above open fire. I could not touch it. She asked me to try. I couldn't touch it. I couldn't go near this steel plate. And imagine doing this 40 times, baking it on one side, flipping it over and baking the other side. And don't forget, the wind is blowing all this smoke into your eyes, into your face. I will have to ask on my next visit, coming up the 19th of January of 2025, how old this tradition is, because I think it goes back hundreds of years. Like a small child, I'm exempt from all the hard labor. Instead, I'm treated to sweets. while my hair is being braided once again. Meanwhile, in the background, my brother is dismantling the hut that my dad accidentally burnt down with his last slash and burn. You would think he would learn, but no. More maintenance, more slash and burn, and this time, luckily, no structures or other things are damaged by this slash and burn session. It's not just all destruction, we also replant. These are the seedlings we had bought a few days earlier, and I get to pick the spots where we replant them, knowing that they could turn out to be massive trees. In order to protect young seedlings that have just been planted, it is very common to place a car tire around it. So when someone else is working the land or, for example, mowing, they know that whatever grows within that tire needs to be safe, left alone. In all honesty, I thought these were like cassava seeds for some funny reason, but knowing now that they only grow from cuttings, those were definitely eggs of something. I don't know what it was. Then there is another downpour. And while I get the blanket out and am quite chilly, my dad is relieved and washes his rag in the cold rain to help him cool off some more. Luckily for Jeanette, none of her cassava breads were in the rain at that moment. We head to town once it's dry for one of the final times because our stay is coming to an end. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next and final episode of my trip to Suriname with my dad in 2023.